Orlando Leyba told me this. I don't know if it's true. He's a comic. But decibel-wise, Taylor Tomlinson, he says, has the perfect decibel level in her voice.
I just don't want to be somebody who has kids before I'm ready to have them. I have a friend who told me in the next year she either wants to get a dog or have a baby. I'm like, if you think those are the same thing, you are not ready for either one. A dog or a baby? That's like saying, yeah, I'm either going to get a skateboard or my pilot's license.
I don't know how he knows that, but he goes, when you listen, you can just listen to her. Hey, what's going on? It's Michael Yo. Welcome to the Yo Show. 15 minutes. This week in 15 minutes, man, we got some good stuff for you. That's Rudy over there.
Hey, guys. What's happening?
Rudy, what are we starting with today, man?
So, I don't know if you saw this the other day, but Jason Kelce had his fourth child.
Jason Kelce, the brother of Travis.
Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagle. And him and his wife were very open and candid about it, about Jason possibly going down the route of getting a vasectomy.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a conversation with somebody about it the other day. I kind of wanted to see what your thoughts are on it, because I was in a little bit of a different situation, because my daughter, when she was young, developed something that, caused her to go in and out of children's hospital for a long time. And by the time we finally got the green light from the doctors, I just said, I don't never want to do this again. I never want to go through anything like this again. With a kid. It was so difficult. It was so taxing emotionally and physically. And I'm like, I don't ever want to be a dad again.
So you got a vasectomy?
Got a vasectomy. It was the best. I paid a nice little small diminutive Jewish man who was named Dr. Pleasance a lot of money.
Dr. Pleasance?
Dude. What?
Dr. Pleasance. What a name.
You could not get a better name to handle your scrotum than that guy.
No,
that dude. That guy. Dr. Pleasance. He's the best.
Happy ending.
Yes. So he was great. I loved everything about it. The process was not that bad. They told me.
What is the process?
So you do have to go in, and you do have to have like an evaluation where they basically sit down and go, just remember that, you are basically taking away something that your body wants to do naturally. The reason why you're on this earth is to procreate and to keep the population alive.
100%.
It's in your DNA to want to do that. So you are going to feel a little different, once it goes away. And also you might have a little bit of seller's remorse. You might have a little bit of, oh man, I'm not done making babies yet.
Yeah.
Which luckily it is reversible, but it is a lot of money to get it reversed. So the process, you go in, you have the evaluation. I went in, I was like, I'm good. They schedule it 3 days later. You go in, you sit down. They put the blanket over the top of you with like the little hole in it. And nurse comes in, shoots you with some Novocaine.
Put the hole in what?
So there's like a napkin that goes over your lap like this with like a glory hole like right in the middle of it. So he can work without having to just have your junk right in his face. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it's just around your balls.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. So and then they go in, they make a little incision underneath, like on the taint.
Wait, are you knocked out?
No, you're awake.
Oh, and they stick a needle in your balls while you're awake?
Ah, that's nothing. You're good. That's not that bad.
Oh, I'm cringing right now.
I mean, it feels as bad as maybe not even as bad as getting kicked in the nuts. It's not that bad. It's a little it's a little pinch. That's all it is. And then you let it numb up for a while. They go in, they make an incision, they pull out the Vans Defron, and they take it, they make an incision. And here's what's crazy is they got to have like two people in there because, it's. So
two people are playing with your balls.
Mostly one, but for this part, they have to have two. So they basically what they do is the nurse comes in and they put a clamp. They cut
Is
the
the nurse
band-
a guy or a girl?
I had a girl.
Okay.
Yeah. So which I was like, whatever, it's fine. But they put a clamp on it because if they let go of that thing, it'll like recoil like up in your body, and then you got to get it surgically removed, and then it's a mess. So they do that. They take it, they tie it around into a knot, and then they cauterize the ends of it to like make sure it doesn't regrow together. But you catch the smell of the burning. You can't feel it, but you can smell it. It smells like kind of like burning rubber, and you're like, ooh, that's balls? Like, it's weird. But then after that, man, it's a couple of days on the couch. They told me it'd be about a week where I laid on the couch for the first day. Second day.
Like, what's the pain like?
I mean, maybe at best you're looking at maybe a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
It's not bad. No.
Yeah.
But they said it'd be about a week, and then I can go back to the gym. I laid on the couch the first day. The second day, I took a 2-mile walk. By the third day, I went on like a 7-mile jog.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible. I didn't lift a lot. I didn't do a lot of extraneous work, but it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. And I'm telling you, boy, had I known that I was going to be single again when I was 33, dude, best decision I ever made in my life.
So you don't regret it at all?
Not at all. No, not at all.
You don't want another kid?
No, I'm so good.
You're done.
I'm done. I don't even, everyone's like, oh, you live in Vegas, get a dog. I was like, I left mine back in Minnesota so I could go on the road. Like, no, why would I want more responsibilities tethered to something? I don't get people like that. You have no kids and you're single and then you decide to get a dog? Like, why would, first of all, it's not fair to the dog.
No. Well, because people get lonely, Rudy.
I get that. Yeah.
But it's hard for a comic to get lonely because you're always moving around. You're always doing shows. You're always people are very accessible when you're a comic because your work is amongst the people.
Sure.
I can understand if you had a job where 9 to 5,
come home,
then it's just you by yourself. I understand that. But like our job is to be out.
Sure.
Yeah. So
not for me. But now that begs the question. Would you ever consider? No, really?
No.
Wow.
No, and I have some reasons I wouldn't do it, but it would sound very mean. So I'll tell you off air.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I would love to say it on air, but I just don't like that kind of karma out there.
Oh, well, I know that some people won't get it because of the Christian values or because
it's not. It has nothing to do with religion.
No, I get
it. It's just something I thought about one day, and I said it on stage once, and literally the crowd was like, ugh, like hated me. So I go, so this, maybe I shouldn't be speaking about this out loud.
Sure.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes 100% sense.
Sure.
I just can't say it on the podcast because
I
I would never want to put that vibe out there.
Yeah. And here's the thing that also is like a roll of the dice. And maybe I'm kind of like, poo-pooing on my own point about how much I love the vasectomy. There was a couple from my hometown that they had a news article about them came out because he had a vasectomy. She had her tubes tied, still got pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm like, that baby should be curing cancer. There's a reason why that baby is on this planet.
It's Superman.
Yeah. There better be something that baby does.
As long as that baby's not around kryptonite, it'll be fine.
Because how did you get through a vasectomy and some tied tubes and still made it to this planet? There's something going on there, bud.
Yeah. Man. That I've heard that too.
Yeah.
But it's not 100% either.
No, you're right.
So.
It's close. It's really close. But
I feel even if you got it, you still, look, I don't want to get too sexual on this podcast, but you still wouldn't just openly like blah into a rando, because you're like,
nah,
I don't like you that much.
Well, okay, maybe you and I have different values.
You're going to splash into a rando? No way, bro.
That's why when I'm on the road, I tell everyone I'm a garbage man. I'm not big enough to get pinched for child support.
I would never splash into a rando, even with it, man. That's not good. That's not good business sense.
No, I hear you.
It feels great, but dude, like, even if I got to be like, but I'm married also, but like if I was single, I was like, no, I can't take that risk.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I do hear you. It's such an insanely different time because we grew up getting to watch
AIDS.
Yeah. But we grew at that young time right before we got into it. I was so afraid in high school. My ex-girlfriend from high school, Mel, she was incredibly sexual at a young age, and I was not. Mm-hmm. I didn't want anything. I didn't want a baby. I didn't want to get a disease. I was like, I was scared of it because we grew up with AIDS. Yeah. We grew up with all that stuff.
That's why, not to cut you off, but that's when I knew COVID was going to be big. When we didn't stop for AIDS, and now you want people to just cover their mouths. Yeah. Like literally, you could die by having sex, right? But with bodily fluids, and you're saying, "Oh, just cover your mouth." And like, no, we didn't do stuff that was killing everybody, much less we're not going to cover our mouths for COVID.
Yeah. I don't know. I pray to God that, my daughter never ends up in a situation where she has to have, children early. But I would tell her, hey, listen, if you guys have those 2 kids and you guys are set and you're ready to go and you both have great careers, by all means, I will pay for your husband to get it done. It is. I love it so much.
How much does it cost?
Well, because it was covered under my.
They cover it under insurance?
Well, because insurance is like, what would we rather do? Pay for a guy's vasectomy or pay for a delivery?
Hey, Siri, how much is a vasectomy?
Here's an answer.
10 grand.
$5,000 to $15,000 for a surgery. But since it's under insurance.
Yeah, because the insurance companies are like, we'd rather just pay for the vasectomy once
Yeah.
instead of having to pay for a baby for 15, 18 years. So,
Nah.
yeah, I love it. And here's the thing, say what you guys want about politics, the politics behind it. I would gladly rather us be handing out vasectomies to young boys because one boy can impregnate.
To young boys
Oh,
that hasn't had a kid?
oh, dude.
Young boys.
Yes. Oh.
How would they know if they wanted kids in the future or not?
Okay, let me rephrase.
Yeah.
It. When I say young boys, I should have said young men.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Not 14 years old getting a vasectomy. That's
okay.
insane.
Now,
That's
now,
insane.
now
Yeah.
you sounding weird,
Yeah.
Rudy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think.
But we're
that,
old. Young boys is like in
You're
their
right.
20s.
Yeah, but
still, like, how old?
Oh, listen. I think if at 21, we'll treat it like.
What?
Yes.
They don't know if they want a family at 21.
Well, you can still get it reversed.
No.
Yeah, I do.
I think that's a bad move.
I think we freeze it. I think we freeze all of the all the juice to be able to make them babies.
vasectomy to Nick Cannon.
Of course,
100%.
that's what I'm saying.
He'd
like,
be first on the list.
There's so many guys that have multiple kids. Like my dad made 4 babies and did not take care of any of
And
them.
Elon Musk. He
Yeah.
can take care of them, but he got too many.
Like it's too much, man. It's too much. Like, we put all the onus on the females, and I don't think it's fair. I think we should be telling guys like, dude, if they came out with the pill for dudes, if I had a son, I want to see you swallow that thing every day.
I don't understand why they didn't do that for dudes.
Because I don't know. Maybe it's just
Because it's dudes that make the rules?
Yeah, because it's dudes who make the rules, and I think it's ridiculous.
If you
It's
could make
insane.
a pill that had any power, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Like in what context? So like to be able to
Like something humanly. Nothing super human, but like something that could help you in life.
Oh man.
But it would be as strong as a vasectomy. Like it cuts it off.
Oh man. Lower my voice and look like Bradley Cooper. That'd be a great pill.
You kind of look like Bradley Cooper. In a hat?
I don't see it. I've noticed though with like doing podcasts when I listen to them, I listen to like your voice and I listen to other people's voices.
Yeah.
And I sound like a small child compared to them.
No, my wife thinks you got a great voice. She says you sound, and I don't take it as a compliment, but she says he sounds like he could do commercials.
Oh.
I hate when people told me I have a radio voice because it's like my normal voice.
Yeah.
But to me, a radio voice is kind of a negative. It's like, oh, you sound like this. Because in my head, radio guy always sounds like this.
He's like a puker. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I used to get so angry when people say that.
Yeah.
They're trying to say you have a good voice.
Sure.
But they go, but my wife thinks I think you sound good on mics.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, and it's just years of practice, 25 years of radio and voiceover but I sometimes listen to other people and I'm like, why does everybody hang on their words? Why, and then I started realizing that
I heard it's a decibel thing.
it's a lot of it. There's people like men especially and women with a little bit of a raspier voice and men with a deeper voice.
Orlando Leyba told me this. I don't know if it's true. He's a comic. But decibel-wise, Taylor Tomlinson, he says, has the perfect decibel level in her voice.
I just don't want to be somebody who has kids before I'm ready to have them. I have a friend who told me in the next year she either wants to get a dog or have a baby. I'm like, if you think those are the same thing, you are not ready for either one. A dog or a baby? That's like saying, yeah, I'm either going to get a skateboard or my pilot's license.
I don't know how he knows that, but he goes, when you listen, you can just listen to her.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't even have to do comedy. She just has the voice where you want. It's like, I would imagine Morgan Freeman has that, right? You just want to hear their voice.
Yeah, and there's a phrase for it. It's a Japanese word, and I can't remember what it is, but there's a thing in people's voices that when ears hear them, they don't listen to the words that are coming out. They're just listening to that person's voice instead of the actual words that are coming out. And I feel, for how much people go, oh, your voice is different. It's unique. And it sounds, because the one thing I can definitely say is when I'm on a podcast, I don't sound like anybody else that's
No, you
on the
don't.
show,
Yeah.
which is great. I also feel like sometimes when I'm doing shows, people are just listening to it because they go, does that sound like a thing? You know what I mean?
See,
yeah.
me, I don't notice it on stage. I've noticed it to more audio playback.
What do you mean? Oh,
Like when I can see you, I don't really think about your voice.
Oh, I got
But when
you.
I hear it back, it hits me more.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, did you ever release your comedy album?
So edited right now. Had a little bit of I'll tell you a little bit about it off air.
Okay.
But yeah. So album is recorded. It's been I edited the first night. I'm editing the second night right now.
Okay.
In fact, I just did about another 15 minutes this morning. So I just got to smash the two together, and then we're looking at probably May. But I had a nice moment at Moon Tower. We just talked about on the last episode. I had a moment at Moon Tower this weekend that was man, it made the trip worthwhile.
What was it?
And I don't want to jinx it yet. I don't want to talk about it, but we'll talk about it.
Contact?
Yeah. And it was just
Great.
something that happened. It was just like it was so organic. And I've always said I figured out a long time ago that if you just really. Because I would be in a room with people. I think you and I talked about this while we were at Moon Tower. You'd be having conversations with people, and while you're talking to them, they're doing this.
Yeah.
Like, is there anybody else around that I could go and talk to that
Yeah.
is much more important than the person I'm talking to right now? And once I figured out, don't do that, just learn about people and get to know what they're all about, that really made a difference. And this one person I had a nice conversation with about everything else besides comedy. And at the end of it, they were like, I understand you got a thing coming out. I can definitely help with that and put it in the right direction. And
great.
Yeah, so it was great.
It's so much better not knowing who people are.
Absolutely.
I forgot. I talked to one person, and maybe not Moon Tower, and I really don't know what position they were in, but I found out they were like a very big deal. But we didn't talk about the industry at all. We were talking about something else, and they honestly didn't know what I did. And finally, they asked me what I did. I told them, and they go, "Oh, yeah. Oh, you seem like I can help." And then they said their name, and I was like, I wasn't like, oh my God, but in my mind, I was like, oh shit, like you're.
I know that guy, yeah.
Like because the industry people you don't really know, unless you're like that person that goes seek people like that. But also at the same time, what I don't like is being introduced to people cold, because then it's just awkward. Like I don't want to say who we met, but my friend introduced us to two people. You were with me. It just was odd.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's like, what are you going to make up to say? So I just like, hey, nice to meet you, and we left.
Yeah.
Because that's so odd
Absolutely.
to me, just to meet someone cold and then try to strike up a conversation. I hate that.
Yeah, because then it feels like they only introduced, like you went to them and went, hey, can you introduce
it
me
feels
to that
forced.
person? Yeah.
It feels forced.
Yeah.
Like, and my friend was just trying to look out, and I love him for it because he's interested. But it wasn't, it's more better like if you're at like we're all drinking or talking. It's just like, hey, meet my such and such. And then you're like, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? All right, me and Rudy, we'll be over. Like, it was literally like that.
Yeah.
It was so odd.
I agree. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So Mad Apple, I'm doing Mad Apple.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, I just signed a deal with Mad Apple. I'll be there May 6th through June 3rd. I'm part of Cirque du Soleil. It's like a dream come true. I'm so excited about it. Also, Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club every Tuesday and Wednesday, 6 o'clock, and it's starting to take off. Took a lot of time, but now it's starting to take off. People are coming out early to see a show because they want to go to bed by 8 o'clock. I get it. I'm with you. We are friends. Come out to that show. Any other topics we want to talk about?
No, man, I think that's good. We got a lot going on for the rest of the week. This is the week that you and I are going to be out in Boston. Yeah.
Boston, Portland, Maine, and
Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I love the area.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I lived out there for a short amount of time.
Portland, Maine?
No, I lived in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Which is just a little north of Portsmouth, and just kind of west of Portland, Maine. But yeah, when we would do radio gigs, we would go up to this place called Hampton Beach, and then we'd bop over to Maine and like go watch the whales breach. And
you think is it whale season now?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know when the
Man,
whale
I see
season.
whales. They're getting more aggressive. They're getting close to boats.
I see that.
Like sometimes tipping them over.
Yeah.
You see that video of that dude getting swallowed by a whale?
I did see that. Yeah, that
That's
was
crazy.
wild, man.
Can you
That's wild.
imagine?
Yeah, going straight up like Geppetto and Pinocchio, living in there on a wooden raft,
Like
looking
that's
for your
the
boy.
worst. Like nobody's bingo card. You're gonna die from a whale. Just What happened to Todd? He got swallowed by a whale.
Yeah. How do you have that funeral?
I know. I mean, that's weird. All right, we'll see you next time on the Yo Show. Camera. Oh, on the Yo Show. Thank you so much for hanging out late.